Hi, my name is Isabella Ceruzzi, and I am proud to present a hypothetical exhibition about the Shitenno. As you will notice, I do have a different title on this page, and that is the Heavenly Kings. And this is just because it will be presented in a westernized culture, since we're working under the assumption that it will be presented in this country. And due to the connotational value that heaven has in this culture, I just decided that it would invoke more emotion than saying Shitenno or the Guardian Kings, which is another translation. But since we prioritize religious context over militarization, which could be debated, but I chose to go with the religious context of our country because I believe it evokes more emotion into the people. So my title just kind of gives a brief description that these are four cardinal directions. They're not a representation, but they are the literal four cardinal directions, and they're guarding over our world. And when they kind of gain their popularity during Prince Shotoko, and that each deity, although having their specific traits and roles, which is fighting demons to try and stray them, to try and not allow them to stray people from that path of enlightenment. They also have duties together and by themselves. Enlightenment is this concept in Buddhist religion of finding the truth about life so that one can reach nirvana and end that cycle of rebirth. And so this is why they're commonly depicted standing atop demons that they have conquered during this time. And they are also generals. So they have a battalions they command, usually made up of spiritual creatures of the Buddhist religion. So this is our first piece. It is from Kofukuji temple in Japan, and we have all four deities represented here. They're made of blocks of wood that were then joined together. And even though this was made during an earlier period, it was restored during the Kamakura period just to bring back that powerful aura they represent. And our northern deity is Tamonten, our eastern is Jikokuten, our southern is Zokoten, and our western is Komokuten. This piece is in the middle of the exhibit, which is why I include which deity represents which direction at this museum label. I also mentioned that they're believed to reside at Mount Sumeru, just because this is the center of the world system and cosmologic Buddhism, which allows them to view all that is going on. So this is one of four of a set from Todaiji Temple. This is Tamonten. He's in full armor, holding a pagoda and a scroll just to show the treasures and knowledge of Buddhist teachings. He is known to rule over the Yaksa in his battalion and the Rakasa. This is Jikokuten from that same collection. He controls the Kendatsuba and Bishasha in his battalion. These are celestial musicians and vampire demons, and he is standing atop a demon in full armor. He's also known as the protector of the world and keeper of the kingdom. This is the third deity from that collection, and that this is Zokoten, again in that full armor and halberd. He is the deity that promotes spiritual growth. He uses the weapon and his spirituality to eliminate and suppress evil forces that get in the way of enlightenment again. And his battalion is made up of the Kohanda. This is our final one from the set, and this is Komokuten, again in full armor atop a demon. He is seen with a writing utensil and a scroll because he uses the power of the teachings of Buddhism to fight off evil forces. And his name is related to his ability. It means wide-eyed, and this is his power to see through evil, which allows him to fight and punish them. So this is our next set. These are silk paintings from the Kamakura period. They were originally housed in the Boston Museum of Fine Arts. We don't know their origin, but many theorize it's Aikuji. This is Tomonten, again, holding that pagoda and a spear, a forked spear standing atop a jockey, which is a demon. Here from that same set is Jikokuten. He's in full body armor, and he appears to be standing on a rock in rough seas. His right hand holds a sword, and it is crossing diagonally in a downward position, and his left palm is up and stretched outward with his fingers flared. This is Zokoten, again from that same set. He's wearing a helmet, the full armor. His right arm is holding a sword angled towards the ground. His left hand is extended, kind of hovering around it, giving the imitation of grasping. And an interesting part in this painting is he is seen wearing earrings that have a bell attached to them. This is Kamokuten, our final one from this series. He's also wearing that full armor. One difference from the other deities is he's wearing a jeweled belt, although it does seem to be functionally used as it seems to be holding up that chest piece, and he's holding a brush and a piece of paper. This is a set of woodblock statues of the Shitenno. They're all standing atop demon and pedestals. The bright colors we see here are from polychrome pigments used in the creation. So that's where those reds and those yellows are coming from. An interesting part about this is even though they were created in Japan, they are wearing traditional Chinese armor. And that is just showing the spread of Buddhism and Buddhist culture. This is a painting known as the Heavenly Kings defeating the demons. So it's actually a woodblock print. So a woodblock print would have been, or a woodblock would have been carved up and then painted and then pressed into paper to get an impression of it. And we just see the deities represented as children defeating demons. Here is a depiction of Tamonten. It is an Ishiboku Zukuri style woodblock. And this was revitalized by a monk named Mukajiku Myomen in the 1800s. It was previously created before the Meiji period, but came back into popularity because of him. And he is just shown in full armor regalia. He's holding a stupa, which is actually from Indian culture, and he's raised a cudgel above his head in the imitation of about to strike a demon. Here's another depiction of Tamonten. This is by Yuji Honbori, and he is a modern Japanese artist. So this was actually created in 2017. A very interesting part of this piece is it's completely made out of cardboard, except that red thing you're seeing, which is an imitation of a spear or a weapon of some kind. And it's just a different medium that we're seeing now as we get into modern art, and how even though he doesn't necessarily have facial features, he still has identifying features, which just kind of shows the power that these deities have. This is a rough sketch of how the exhibit will be presented. So when you walk directly in through an archway, you're going to see that title wall text as well as the exhibit name. As you walk straight in, you're going to see the Kofukuji statues, and each deity will be facing their respective direction. On either side of that, we'll have that hanging woodblock print of the children of the Shitenno represented as children fighting off demons. And on the other side, those 4 wood blocks that were in those polychrome pigments of the Shitenno. And then as we make our way around the exhibit, you will go through each deity at their respective direction, and you will see that mounted silk painting and their Todaiji temple as well, Todaiji statue as well, right in front of that painting. The only deity that will stray from this is Tamonten, because he will also have his cardboard statue and his woodblock statue, and they will be residing on either side of that Todaiji statue. We have it in a circular room just because you don't really want any of those sharp lines that would come from a rectangular or a square room, as the directions are ever flowing, and it kind of just shows how even though they have their respective sides and their respective roles, when it comes down to it, they all work together because that boundary is never ending. It's all fluid. So the press release just kind of goes over a little bit of their history with Prince Shotoko and the Mononobe clan, and the building of Shitennoji, which really revolutionized the Shitenno because it promoted them heavily in the mindset of the people. It made them renowned figures, and this iconography still stands and is a very popular. And at the end, it's just kind of talking about how people should come and see the power of the deities, renowned by many, and experience them like they've never seen them before, and just be immersed in the power of them. In conclusion, this exhibit was just created to give an experience that allows people to really see the power of the guardians as soul deities and all together. Again, their respective roles is very important in the religion, but also when they come together, they are extremely powerful deities. It also shows different styles of artwork. We had those cardboard pieces, we had woodblock prints, we had silk paintings, we had statues, we had clay statues. It just is a nice place for people to really get interested in different mediums of art, even though it's the same subject. And finally, we were able to display pieces from many periods of Japanese artwork. So not only are you seeing a major part of the Buddhist religion and being able to experience that, you're also able to experience a little bit of the history of Japan by seeing the evolution of their artwork and what was important at the time in artistry, because artistry is a reflection of culture. And that's all. Thank you so much.